Hi guys, it's Alex here, the CEO of Erra, don't fight me on that, and I'm here to talk about the brand new single from them, Pale Iris, out now on UNFD's channel as well as streaming. I really wanted to talk about this track because it's been a little bit of time since we've got some new Erra material. I thought the self-titled album was very good, and I think overall the change to UNFD from Sumerian Records has been pretty damn good. But I really wanted to talk about this track because I think it highlights some of the amazing changes that Erra has gone throughout time. And their transformation has been kind of slow, the type of thing you don't necessarily see right away. They've obviously switched around vocalists quite a few times. They've switched up their lineup, they've switched up their label, they've switched up their lyrical style, so I'm kind of like really excited to see what happens in the future, especially after the self-titled album was more themed around like technology and AI as opposed to the old sort of god and mythology of the augment era of Erra, pun unintended. But Pale Iris I think is a fantastic track. First off, you're still getting the tapping sort of djent style riffs of Erra, but they're using JT's vocals more. You're getting JT actually kind of scream singing on the chorus alongside Jesse, and hearing them tag team together just makes my ears just nut. It's actually incredible. But the thing I want to highlight with the vocals is Jesse himself, Jesse Cash. I have always been a fan of Jesse Cash's vocals. I know not everyone has been, just because he does sing very high, he sings very high-pitched, he has a high register, but I love how supple and silky he sounds on this track. And I've noticed that since the self-titled album released, Erra has been moving into more of a direction where Jesse isn't pushing his register to the absolute limits. Now, on track listings like Drift and track listings like Augment, I did appreciate the fact that he was able to come through with some choruses that were not only extremely catchy, but very dynamic and impressive in the sheer amount of range that he would have, sometimes going from these muted, low, rumble sort of verses into these screamed choruses that were just soaring over the mix. But I think that when you employ his more smooth type of singing style, it just fits in perfectly with the melodicism and the harmonious nature of the instrumentation. This chorus is probably one of the most catchy Erra choruses I've heard in a while, and that's saying a lot because Erra is known for having some very catchy choruses. But I actually really enjoyed this, and I think it's probably one of my favorite choruses since the self-titled album, and even goes above and beyond a lot of the self-titled album's choruses, in my opinion. The track itself is pretty straightforward in terms of what you would expect from Erra. It's definitely more so in line with the self-titled album than anything off of Drift or Neon or whatever, but I did like sort of the classic metalcore isms of some of the riffs. I'm definitely getting like some Killswitch Engage and some As I Lay Dying progressions, but in a djent way, and I don't know if that's just something I noticed, but it's something I really enjoyed. Per usual though, JTKV is an absolute beast on the vocals, Jesse is a beast on the vocals, and the production is so crisp and just precise. It is so technical, but it still feels like it has that human edge to it. A lot of djent and progressive metalcore bands unfortunately kind of do fall prey to sounding a little bit robotic, but I don't think that is present here at all. Everything rings out perfectly, and especially the bass comes through so much. And some of the moments of silence where you're not getting any vocals and it's a bit of a breakup period to break up the monotony, the bass comes through in the mix in such a well-textured way. It is so crispy. So it's standing on its own 2 feet. It's not just like another guitar sounding thing that just blends into the mix, which is an issue I have with a lot of progressive metalcore and djent bands. That's not present at all here. It is perfect. Overall, I just think this is an extremely well-crafted track itself. Outside of comparing it or playing a comparison game with other Erra tracks or the self-titled album of the UNFD era, I think that it's just a good song. It is equal parts heavy, it is equal parts beautiful, and Erra are one of the only bands that can really toe that line consistently, convincingly, even up to the breakdown, which is like ear candy. It's not so brutal that it's trying to like exceed some self-imposed expectations, but it is perfectly placed, perfectly timed, and doesn't overstay its welcome. And yeah, I love love this track. I don't know if it's tied to an album. I'm assuming it's going to be released with an album, or like an album announcement is potentially on the way, but for right now, we don't have an announcement with that. But what are your opinions of this new Erra track, Pale Iris? I'm going to put it down in a pinned comment in the description box below. Don't take my word for it and go listen to it yourself. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is. My name is Jay Morris, and I'm signing off saying farewell.